Hello, everybody. Just give a couple minutes. Very good down there and retweet the room. Go ahead and add some friends and all that good stuff. Get some DM some people. That'd be helpful too. I'm going to get some speakers up here. Hello, everybody. Just going to wait a couple minutes here, get some more people in. Hi, how's everybody doing? Welcome.
Hello.
Go down and retweet the room and all that good stuff.
Okay, let's do it.
What's up, bud? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you guys?
Very good, Alberto.
Well, I'm glad to hear.
Hey, what's up, Alberto? What's up, fam? Can you guys hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I actually I fear that the quality of my audio might not be the best. Is that correct?
You're pretty good.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to keep the cellular in this position. Okay. Well, yeah. No, I'm doing pretty well. How about you guys? Aslam, how are you? And you?
I'm doing great. I'm getting excited watching this room build. I
Wow.
see a lot of cool cats down there.
Well, actually, I don't, you send the invite, and wow, it's not usual to see something like this. Such a people getting engaged so fast with a first invitation. This is very wow. It says a lot. I can tell you. I don't normally see things like this.
Yeah, I think we're doing. Yeah, I was gonna say we're doing this a little different. I mean, we really focus on engaging, like just engaging. Most founders are focusing on the project and everything. Right now I'm just focusing on engaging, teaching the community how to engage better, and that's just bringing us closer.
So far, I can tell you, I can see the results in terms of how people are responding to this. And my respects, you are doing an amazing job. Your strategy is really working so far, as far as I can see the results.
Appreciate that, Alberto. Especially since you go around a lot, from what I can tell now in the Web3 world. That's hilarious. I'm glad you got over in here. It's a little different in the crypto Twitter area, but welcome, sir. I'm glad you're up. Let's see who else is popping in here. Hey guys, everybody down there. We get a couple shout outs. RW in the house. Looks like we got Kid, Jose, Teo's in the house. Canadian View, Dave. What's up? How you guys doing? Holder, what's up? Ergot NFT, not Lewis. What's up? Crypto. Salzu's in the house. Sassa's in the house. And then Theon. What's going down, you guys? Welcome, everybody. We're just going to be waiting a couple minutes here. Get some more people in before we kind of get into our details of what we want to talk to you about with you guys tonight. But we do have Shorty in the house. Shorty, we're going to bring you up, and we are going to talk about the marketplace and all that kind of stuff that you asked for a little bit earlier. So we'll get you up.
Also, guys, you can go down there and retweet that room. Literally, like, that is what we're charging. So you got to retweet that room. This room is all about engagement. If you're not engaging with us, you're in the wrong room.
Do you want to kind of go over some? Well, we might want to wait a couple more minutes, but we need to talk about like the quests that we added to Crew, the best ways to engage, and what we want these guys to be doing. So, we'll give it a couple more minutes down here, you guys. If you guys can, someone pop some of them in our group chats, the invites. Let everybody know we're in here.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please?
Hey, one of the guys down here that's got all the group chats. I'm gonna have them drop the channel in there. That way, everybody knows where we're at right now. It's live.
Oh.
Yep. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm probably going to be quiet for a little bit because I got about 100 of them.
All right, cool. Actually, I can probably go ahead, Alberto.
No, and by the way, I will also post this on the cybersecurity community. We can get some people from there as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that would be a good idea because I want to discuss. We're going to discuss the new Bitcoin NFTs that are going around right now. That's one of the things we're going to talk about, and then we'll talk about the, of course, the Amazon situations. I am going to start posting some things up top, though. That way, we can have some things on the Jumbo.
Oh, by the way, this morning there was this woman from Peru that you helped weeks ago, and she's really, really thankful for yourself. She keeps repeating me, "Oh, he's so beautiful. Oh my God, Hannibal was so nice." So I mean, oh, she only has words of. She's so thankful for what you did for her. I don't know if I told you, but she has already posted, minted everything on Foundation. She has sold some pieces, so she's very happy.
That makes me feel really good, Alberto. Not every day that you get a case where you go over and do instant response and it ends up being a good thing. Most of the time people end up losing everything and then they have to learn from there. So that's a really good story. I like her.
Well, she likes you, and you really cannot imagine how much you help somebody who really needs help. So yeah, that's the people that are getting. I mean, Web 3.0 NFTs are changing the life of a lot of people. Most of us don't realize that, and we just do an NFT and we hope to sell it for a lot of money. But no, people are working a lot for not much money, but that is making a difference in a lot of people. Aslam also always refer to people in Africa. I can tell the reality in South America, and it's not the same. It's probably better, but still makes a difference that is huge, and not many people actually can see that.
For sure, man. You see, the NFTs, we don't realize this, but some people are making a living off of this, like actually, enough to pay for their families and things. So we got to make sure that they're safe. And oh, by the way, I am going to put up there, since we're on that right now, the Zengo wallet. So everybody look up top. Those of you that do not use security for your wallet, you need to check up top right now. Most of the cats are here already know this, but I've put Zengo and Wallet Guard up top of the Jumbotron. There's a link up there for you guys. So I'll just repeat it. The people that don't know what it is. So Wallet Guard is an extension. It goes inside up by your wallets and your browser, and it'll check all of your transactions to make sure that you're not getting some kind of a wallet drainer. So sort of like a condom, like we make a joke about. Now, those of you that are not using a computer that has a typical browser, you can use the Zengo wallet, which is also up there. So I recommend installing the Zengo wallet. It's for both iOS and Android. So those are up top, you guys. And then also I'm going to put up top, those of you that might be new, or if any new people do come in, we can point them to the Git book up top for the white pages. All right. And then we'll wait a little bit longer before we get into the actual details of what's going on. But let's take a look, see how many people are in here. What's up, everybody? We got some more requests. Looks like Wise Token. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Welcome, everybody. Just kind of getting everybody together here. Gonna get into our. What's up, bud? How you doing, Wise?
Chilling, man. I see all these cats, bro. Y'all looking good. Y'all taking stuff by storm these days.
Bro, we roll deep. You know how we go. So we're gonna be having a discussion today about some cool stuff, you guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming. By the way, T got bit by a scorpion. I don't know how many of you guys know that or not. I thought that was really interesting.
Hold on, wait. What did you say? I heard something about somebody who was bitten by a scorpion.
Yeah, he texts me. He's like, "Hey, I got bit by a scorpion." I'm just sitting here like, "What?" Like, I'm in Florida, so I know there's like bad animals, but yeah, we don't exactly have scorpions. Yeah, he got bit by a scorpion.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been a black mamba, so I guess it's okay.
Right. No, he lived. Somehow they gave him a shot. Everything's fine. He said that he's just kind of been out of commission, so that's probably why he's not coming up and talking. Otherwise, I would bug him, make him come here and talk to us. All right. Anybody wants to come up and talk, you guys are welcome to. It's real chill today. We're just going to have some fun. Go ahead and kind of start up some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. Mr. Aslan, do you want to go in to talk about some of the engagement stuff, or do you want me to go into the other things first?
Yeah, go into the other things. Let's let the room build a little bit. That way we can get more cats in here. And then, yeah.
No problem. So there are a couple things I want to talk to you guys about. So first of all, we're multi-chain explorers, and we're always out checking stuff out. So Aslan came to me like last year. This always happens, as Larry says, Bitcoin NFTs. I'm sitting there like, yeah, okay, Aslan. So fast forward in the future. Oh my God, he was right again, right? So I'm sitting here going through all my shit, and I'm going to end up running into some things here. This is really interesting, you guys. So we all know how this works. So they went over there. Let me just back this up. Let's talk about before Ethereum real quick, right? So we're talking about Bitcoin 1.0, all people. We're talking Charles Hoskinson is hanging out with VDOG back in the day, right? They're going around. They're doing all these like Bitcoin conferences. They're figuring out, look, dude, we got to make smart contracts or something. We got to make apps. We got to do all this stuff, right? They're trying to figure out how to make Bitcoin do that. So VDOG realizes he runs in this crew, and they're called Mastercoin. What Mastercoin was doing is they were taking Bitcoin and they were adding like this thing, like these tools to it and stuff, right? Which essentially was the beginning of ETH. So he went over there, and VDOG is like, look, you guys, it might be a better idea than to individually create all these tools because it'll take you forever to maybe implement a programming language where people then can make their own tools, right? So they didn't like the idea at all. He left and was like, look, I'm going to go do it on my own. And this is where it starts kind of like snowballing from, right? He runs into all the guys that we know, through the Bitcoin conferences and the other various methods of meeting people that are into blockchain. Those just have been around for a long time. Know there were forums way back in the day. I was like in those running around, It's majorly, let's put it this way, ETH was created by the people that were around him during the time. It wasn't exactly the best minds, but they were good. Like, don't get me wrong, Charles Hoskinson and them are a brilliant guy from Polkadot and all that kind of stuff. Yes. Anyway, the reason why I bring this up is this. Fast forward in the future. ETH obviously was designed with proof of work, had to roll into proof of stakes. They have this long purge, urge, merge, burge, curge like roadmap, right? That's going to take a while to get to the point where ETH is actually not a beta. That's what most people don't realize. ETH is not in its full capacity yet. Okay, so when sharding and all this cool stuff kicks in, it'll be way better. Now, what happens at this point is all these other brilliant minds realize that there is a need for this ETH to be completed. So tons of other blockchains started getting invented, right? We're talking Sol, AVAX, all this stuff, dude. We got Near, we got Aptos, and most of these are all based off of similar consensus methods. But I will tell you, it's proof of BS. I always make a joke about this. Everyone's making a proof of something or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, all right, fine. Let's not trying to confuse everybody. We'll keep it very simple. What happened with Sol is what blows my mind. Is the boys at Qualcomm, who had been involved in cell phone stuff for a long time, were using timestamps to try to get the cell phones to be faster off of analog and digital and things like this. So some of them helped create the idea for Sol. So Sol has timestamps, which makes it go very fast, which is called proof of history, right? So now I'm kind of just placing all this in here because we got other stuff and trying to lay out all this blockchain stuff and how the Bitcoin thing actually ended up happening, right? So we're way past where the Bitcoin was trying to get smart contracts, right? We've all developed out this crazy ass Web3 with tons of blockchains that fix every problem we can come up with and whatever. We're spread out all over the place, right? Bitcoin's been quietly over there trying to figure out how to make this work. And as of November of last year, they actually did a couple of things. So the two things that I'm going to explain to you are pretty crazy, right? Firstly, before I get into it, let's talk about something that's called ordinal numbers. Okay, and this has nothing to do with blockchain. And when you hear that term, what this means is this. It's basically like a rank and position of an object within a whole bunch of different, an organization of things like perimeters in position. Okay. So ordinals is actually a type of number. It's not actually something that was invented on the blockchain for the blockchain. So let's just understand that straight out. Okay, you guys. Now that we understand that, let's go from here. SegWit and Taproot. These are two things that Bitcoin basically upgraded. And I'm not going to get in crazy detail, but essentially is what it did was expand the block size and the capabilities of putting inscriptions onto a Satoshi. All right. So what do I mean by that is this. Satoshis are like pennies, and they're supposed to not have a serial number on them. They're supposed to all one Bitcoin for what Bitcoin, right? So this ordinal number theory that I was just describing, where you put these sequences and these positions and these objects, like these representative marks, right, gives you the ability now to have something of, let's just say, a marker that will point to something, or depending on the size, you can actually put an image on it, right? So now if you can imagine block size, there was this block wars back in the day with the Bitcoiners, and they were freaking out because they didn't want big blocks, so they didn't want small blocks. It ended up coming to where we are. We were lucky that we got some of the big blocks, and this system makes it so the blocks are bigger. That's the best way I can describe it. So now we get past all of that, right? I'm not going to get into the details, but the inscriptions are the important part, you guys. So when you guys hear all these people running around talking about how they've got a Bitcoin NFT, that's what that is, okay? So now I want to clarify this. that has limitations. Okay, so you can't put a smart contract on chain inscribed into that thing on Bitcoin. Okay, so for us to be able to do things like DeFi and games and an actual NFT, not an inscription. Okay, so that's like a digital collectible type thing. It's not a real NFT, because you guys got to realize NFTs can be used for token gating and all that kind of fun stuff, right? Because it's got a smart contract attached to it. It's not just some inscription that's marked into a Satoshi. Okay, you can boot software and stuff like this. So without getting too technical, I know I'm like ranting about this stuff, but so if you can imagine that penny has a little marker that then points over into some kind of a side system, and that side system, depending on how detailed and what it does, is going to be able to do all the fun stuff with Bitcoin that we know is happening now in DeFi. So I hope I explained that correctly. I'm going to hand the mic off here to Aslan.
Yes, I would like to kind of relate this to Polygon compared to ETH, right? Like a layer 2. So I've been saying this for a while, like sooner or later, Bitcoin is going to end up finding its Polygon. And what Hannibal is saying right now is we think we found that. So I'm going to pass it back to him. I just think it might make it a little easier to understand. And maybe I could describe the inscriptions a little easier too, right? Because Hannibal's mind is like, holy crap. Mine's like a little more simple, and I could put it in a little bit of layman terms. So basically, they're able to put a picture on the blockchain right now. That picture has data, right? So instead of putting that picture on the blockchain, we end up using that data to direct us to somewhere where we can actually apply a smart contract. And when you can apply a smart contract, you could do different things like create collections, right? So you won't be able to create a collection by doing it the way that most of these other people are doing it, where you're just putting a JPEG on. But what we're talking about is we kind of figured out how to make a collection that is on Bitcoin, right? So that's what he's saying.
Even more than that, it's a collection that we can also use for token gating. Those can be plugged into contracts. You can actually create games using that type of system. So I just want to kind of point this out to you. We found it very cool. This is something that's kind of underground right now. Only certain people are getting into it. Initially, when I first got into it, I was like, the wallets are really hard. The wallets have been fixed, you guys. They're just as simple as MetaMask or the other ones. We're looking pretty good over there, to be honest with you at this point. So I did just want to kind of present some of this stuff to you. I went out and started doing some scouting. Some of you down there have been following me, got out there and watched me doing the scouting. I just wanted to kind of see what their communities were like and what their artists and things were like. And I will tell you that this is very similar to Metaverse X, Aptos, Avalanche, all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be something I'm pretty excited about. I don't even think the influencers that are pushing this stuff understand it to the degree. Sasalu, how you doing, sir? What can we do for you?
Yeah, thank you. I have a small question maybe for both of you. As you say, ETH as Polygon as kind of layer 2. About Bitcoin, Stacks. Is Stacks the layer 2 of Bitcoin, or am I wrong?
It's exactly what we're talking about. However, it's not a layer 2. It's still layer 1, you guys. But yeah, I understand what you guys are relating it to Polygon, for sure.
Yep, Stacks. You're right. I believe Stacks is a layer 1, which is even better.
Okay. Because I thought that they were kind of the layer 2 of Bitcoin, because they are centralized about Bitcoin, everything Bitcoin. So I didn't get exactly what it means, but maybe you have more information than me. That's why I ask if Stacks is the layer 2 of Bitcoin, something like that.
You can relate it to Polygon, I would say.
It's a good idea to try to understand that in the same way that Polygon was an environment that was a low gas environment that things could be done faster in, this is the exact same thing, right? So let me give you a couple examples, which I've kind of thought is really cool. So there are validators we've looked into, because obviously if we were to do something, there would have to be validators and all that. The validators pay you in Bitcoin. So they have like this system set up. The best way I can describe it is this, bro. So Bitcoins take 10 minutes to be able to get to you. This is one of the reasons when we, like, for instance, went into this shop that they're trying to get crypto, and we're trying to explain to them, like, you're going to have to stand there for 10 minutes for your customer to be able to do this unless you use some other system that processes it, like the Lightning Network, right? So Stacks is like Lightning, where it's able to do processing and other transactions on the side. But what it seems to look like is that Stacks token is very different in that it can be representative of a Bitcoin, And it also can be representative of itself. Okay. So what I mean by that is that Stack's environment is not wholly based off that token in the same way that ETH is based off of Ethereum, right? So what it is that Bitcoin is used in that system, and that's the basis of it. Although there's times that you have to use things like smart contracts and tokens, that's when that Stacks token will be utilized, because you obviously can't use Bitcoin for those things. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No problem. Yeah, and we will be getting more into this the more that we kind of explore around, now that we understand the details of this and how the the machine's working, because this is exactly like what we would have wanted Bitcoin to be like in the first place. So as multi-chain explorers, let's keep our eye out on that happening. That is some of the new things that are bubbling from the ether up in the front lines. We've experienced it ourselves. We'll be pulling into some of those rooms to have discussions, checking it out as we go. If anybody has any input, we would love to hear more. But yes, eventually Stacks is the Bitcoin kind of upgrade that's going to be doing NFTs, you guys. So we wanted to kind of point that out to you. And that way you at least understand what the ordinal theory is as well. Anybody want to add anything? Anybody got any questions or anything before we move on from there? Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, Aslan, do you think we should maybe get into this stuff with the marketplace? I think that's a good one to get into, because Shorty was wondering about that. It is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so here's the deal. Now, we all know Amazon is a monster, and if they get into Web3, we're going to be looking lovely, right? Well, a little while ago, they made an alliance with AVAX, which is fine. That actually is a very good blockchain, but they had like this weird thing happen where some of their head people were paying these really bad attorneys to go around and basically file paperwork, like call the cops on all of their like competitors, and they got caught doing this. That's not exactly a good look for a blockchain, but that doesn't mean that they have bad technology. I trolled the crap out of the representatives when they were around just because I thought that was funny, because at least for me, it'd be like if Aslan was in a tournament and somebody was trying to make it so he couldn't compete, that probably means they're not that good and they're afraid of him. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking at AVAX, I was like, but Amazon signed him up, right? And the reason why is because it actually is a pretty decent technology. And they were planning on hopefully doing something with blockchain, with the deliveries and all that kind of thing. So I know they've had some experiments happening and some research and development. But what you're going to find when you go out and try to research this exact subject, they haven't exactly said what blockchain that this marketplace is on. So that leaves us to allude that it possibly could be AVAX due to the fact they already had an agreement with them. But there's also a side chain. It's like the EVM, kind of like, let's say, Polygon. It's called IOST, which are also kind of doing the EVM angle. So it looks like they have Avalanche and ETH is what they're going to be doing from there, right? Where Google seems to be working with Sol, which was really epic. I thought that was awesome. So I just want to point that out. We don't know exactly what blockchain is going to be using. There is an assortment of like 15 NFT projects that they will be putting on it first. And they're doing the same thing to us that they seem to be doing to mainstream and confusing the people. So they will have to pay cash, fiat, for this NFT. They will not be able to do crap with it. It will be put into a custodial wallet. But the only thing that I like about it is what Aslan has always talked about, is having a physical object with the NFT. So that means if you're buying this sweatshirt, you're not going to get a certificate that proves that that is the actual, sweatshirt. This is the beginning of the future of that kind of thing. Do I personally think that's going to be like a huge thing and pop off, and this marketplace is going to be like the next OpenSea? Highly doubt it. They're not even in these rooms to even have a conversation with us, to even know what the heck's going on, let alone be able to dominate the marketplace overnight because they made a marketplace. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. RW, how you doing? What could I do for you, sir?
Yeah, I just had some input on that. I've also been building in the back end with these people that are also focusing on physical NFTs, but focused on a more decentralized spectrum of it. Now, my curiosity is how is Amazon going to integrate NFTs? Are they going to use QR codes, or are they going to be using NFC devices? There's just a lot of ways that we're looking into, and that our founder right now has a patent for it. So I'm just wondering what direction Amazon's going into with the physical NFTs?
That's a great question. I would imagine probably they're going to go with a scan code. That's going to be my bet. Because if you look over like in China and most of the mass adoption where they can get people to do things properly, it's as simple as something like that. I was hoping maybe they would do like a quasi wallet where people could realize that they're going to have something that holds their stuff. And then, it's some kind of custodial maybe where you could like, I don't know, put that into ETH and spell it on, but no, that's not going to be the case. However, this is the only thing, I like how they're starting to tell people like, okay, we're trying blockchain. This might be something with an NFT. That scares some people, but if we get them used to those words, then maybe we can start to slip some things in like Starbucks did on them. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I appreciate that angle. And I wonder too, what part physicality that these things will have. Does anybody else have any input on what they think might happen?
I don't have input, but I'll tell you what I would like to see. What I would like to see is this be an onboarding situation where maybe they can cash it out for crypto instead of actual USDC, right, or US dollar. So then that would end up onboarding people to whatever, whether it's Polygon, AVAX, or whatever. Now they have crypto and now they can actually use the ecosystem. So I could see that being an onboard situation, but would they really want to do that is the question, right?
Well, I mean, I was just walking the scenario through my head. So, on Amazon, they can sell things that are used, and eBay's trying to get into this too. So quietly in the background, eBay's doing the same stuff. So I buy a sweatshirt. It's a Gucci sweatshirt, right? They send me NFT. Wow, I got a Gucci signature thing. Okay, fine. Wear it for a couple of days. I don't like it. Took it out one night, whatever. Selling it now, right? And now I get to prove through certificate that this is the actual Gucci sweatshirt. It's not some knockoff or any of that. And maybe because you were a first mover, maybe because you were some of the first ones to get this to be on chain and all that particular sweatshirt might be worth a hell of a lot more now. That's the hope, I would think. But when you look at the things that have happened in the past, like the Tiffany's thing that happened, the Porsche thing and all this stuff, it has a very a rocky history of things not working out the way that they had hoped or things not blowing up out of proportion. But I will say, for instance, I brought up the Starbucks thing. That was a little weird where the mint didn't go well. But now that it's been in place for a while and people are actually using it, now it's increasing. So I would imagine that's probably the model that we'll see is like if it comes out, it gets huge and then it flops, probably not going to be something sustainable. But if it comes out and it does its hype and then it slowly builds up from there, that might be some of the things that end up sticking.
See, what I would like to see on some of these sites like eBay, Amazon, other, sites, Newegg, stuff like that, is these people listing their products being able to accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other cryptocurrencies, right? Just because I really think it would be awesome to see these marketplaces start to onboard people by giving the option to get paid in it, right? So I don't know if you see what I'm saying, but if we were getting paid out in crypto, it'd be much easier for everyone to use the ecosystem.
I agree 100% with that. It's a great way to put that because everyone then would have ETH in their wallet or Sol in their wallet or whatever, and then they can go from there and move on. But I just don't know that the banks would want us to do that. Let's go to these hands. We got InMotion and then Teach them.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me up here. I'm going to talk about the gospel of DeFi for a few minutes. Let me wax poetic here. So I am from the Loopring blockchain. We're a ZK rollup layer 2 on Ethereum. We're kind of leading the pack in technology. But the way I envision the future of crypto is basically the whole point of it is to get you to become the custodian of your own money and your own assets. Unfortunately, all of this stuff right now is way too early for any kind of real world implementation. So we have a lot of projects being built, a lot of things being tested as in kind of like a playground format, right? There really is no clear vision of how these things can be used later, but you have people kind of, starting to create these marketplaces, these use cases in games, use cases for payments. So all of these things take time to build up. And I think I kind of equate it to when the TCP/IP stack was being built in the 70s at the DoD. No one had any clue that 20 years later it would become the internet that powers the entire planet, right? So we're kind of in that phase. my biggest thing is if gaming, and specifically metaverse type gaming, not like the stupid stuff that you're being fed by like Facebook and all that crap. I'm talking about like real world augmented reality, more so than virtual reality, where you can displace physical objects into digital space. Just think of all the clutter in your house that you could offload into digital space with AR, right? Things like that. Anything can be an NFT. Entire applications can be NFTs. You could start selling things by the thousands and hundreds and mint them on chain, not on chain, but like things on like IPFS. I've personally minted entire games as NFTs that you could give to people. Games where you can have multiple NFTs interacting with each other. The sky's the limit here. So right now, everybody kind of has this idea in their head that NFTs are literally just monkey JPEGs, but the use case for them is so much more than that, and it needs to be kind of spread and evangelized to the masses that there's more use cases to it than just the nonsense we see right now. And I'll leave that up to questions if anybody has any.
Hallelujah. Amen, bro. I like the DeFi church, man. I'll hear more of that. We'll come back to you if you don't mind. Teach them. What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? I apologize. In motion. I don't have a question of what you were saying, but what I was just gonna say is I try not to be a pessimist, but I just want everyone to be aware when these big marketing companies come in. Of course, we want that for the onboarding aspect, but please don't forget that they've never really cared about the consumers. You know what I mean? They might pretend to. In the end, they care about a buck. So, of course, we want them for the onboarding, but we can't just not can't. I believe we should be asking a million more questions to them and like kind of quote unquote doing them how we do ruggers or scammers. Not saying that they are that, but at the same time, they're a big corporation who care about their bottom line, not so much about their consumers. Whereas we are in the quote unquote Web3, we currently care much more about communities and the consumers than we do about a product. Not necessarily, of course, we want products and people are building products, but I say that because we have plenty of projects that are sustained right now through community only. So I feel like these big marketplaces aren't going to focus on the consumers. So we should just kind of keep our eyes open and be aware when these guys are doing what they're doing, as Amazon's doing right now.
100%. And the way that DeFi, the way I picture DeFi, and the way that the reason I got into the whole Loopring project was because it empowers you to become your own exchange. Now, you control all of your assets and all of your crypto, and then if you want to, you could create a community-based exchange on the blockchain. The blockchain itself has zero, like, it doesn't govern what you could do on it. So you could technically create your own exchange for your own community and have it interact with other exchanges and other communities, right? So when you're talking about things like Amazon or even Coinbase, those things are stupid because they're centralized. Custodial wallets are nonsense. If you're allowing another person to keep your stuff, you're losing right there.
I agree 100% with that. That's why, me personally, I don't think that like, the crypto.com NFTs and stuff are, it's a little weird for that to happen. That's why we're not going to see a lot of that kind of stuff come this way. I do appreciate all the points on that. And I think that we need to keep an eye on mass adoption. I think that we need to support it. For instance, I didn't think the Reddit thing, it did a little thing, I guess, but it didn't do crap for us as far as Web3. And, so there's been a little tricklings. People are trying. But it ain't going to be until massive banks come in here, ISO standards, like regulatory people that make sure that grandpa that brings his pension in here is not going to lose the whole thing in one day on a meme coin. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I completely agree. I double that sentiment. Let me ask, Shorty, what was your specific questions on this that you were wondering? Have we gone through them, or do you have anything else that you were wondering about this?
No, actually, hello, everyone. Light and love to everybody in the room, all my Wildcat family down there, and my new friend, Be Straight. I hope that's what you mean by your screen name. Welcome to this space. No, I just wanted to, I've been hearing rumblings about Amazon. I just wanted to know, and you guys have pretty much answered and unpacked it for me. I just wanted to know what was going on with that. Where are they going? What are they doing? Is this good for us to get into? Just, the basics.
Yeah, and anytime you guys have any questions, any of you guys down there, any cats or anything, just go ahead and pop it to us. We'll be happy to go through this stuff because most of us understand the details of this kind of thing. If not, we know people that do. So yeah, this is a great subject to talk about. Mass adoption is something that I don't think that we are exactly going to be involved in. I think that we're going to sit over here and try to figure out the methods that these corporations, like, dude, this is what it really seems like. We're doing the research and development for them. We're literally sitting out here testing this stuff on each other, coming up with the things that they would spend millions on to try to figure out if it works. And they'll put their big toe in once they figure it's safe. So they'll come eventually. Not too worried about it. We're here early as hell, though. Those of us that are doing projects, setting up, this is the other thing that I would recommend, too. It's like, if you've been through a couple of bull and bear markets, man, you already know how this goes. And you know kind of what they're going to end up doing. But there are some things coming this year. They're going to be a little bit different. Like VDog did say that sharding will be fixed by the end of the year, meaning that's going to make some of these other projects a little irrelevant, depending on what's going on with them. So I can't wait until that shakes up a little bit. And then we do have a Bitcoin halving next year. I want to point that out right now. So our experience in this is that most bull runs happen right when a Bitcoin halving happens. So that means that this year, like the rest of this year, will probably go pretty much sideways. There's going to be a lot of micro type trades. The macro big vision is when it kicks in with the CPI reports around this time next year with the bull run, because you're going to have a Bitcoin halving at that time. Everybody needs to be in play. All of you guys need to have all your stuff in the best places it can be, because you're going to watch your bags go through the roof. And then what we're going to do as a community, when we're all together, we're going to watch that top and we're all going to get out, right? 10% before the top. And this is where everybody always fucks up. This is where I always messed up. My ass was over there thinking, I'm going to get that last 2%. Oh, no. And it's falling. I'm losing. No. Aslan's taught me you make your money right in the in-between. And Aslan's got these spots perfect. So we're going to be able to help everybody with that. Does anybody else have anything?
I'll go there a little bit. First of all, we're not talking about selling Wildcats. First of all, right? Secondly, the way that I like to buy is as it dips, I buy a little bit, I buy a little bit, I buy a little bit, I double down maybe. And then as it goes up and it goes past my break-even point, I sell a little bit, I sell a little bit, I sell a little bit, right? And that's how I like to take my profits. So it's just a little tip.
Andy taught me the DCA thing, where you like you have to kind of like average your way in a little bit. And then so like as this is where it clicked for me. Remember I was talking about the last space, we're talking about finding the bottom of the NASDAQ. I know that sounds a little bit weird. So imagine this though. What Aslan showed me is there's ways to make money when it's going up or down. So I was just sitting there like, what's the point of this, right? And he's like, no, hold on. Shorting is a healthy thing because what it's doing is it's fixing some of the counter things that are happening, right? So he showed me that basically when something goes down to the bottom, you're going to make money as it goes down. But if you catch that bottom and you can tell by different sensors, dude, this is where you're making your money at, right? So this is kind of where we're discussing these market dynamics. And like Boss was saying, definitely not in selling the NFT, but this is in buying and selling, for instance, Sol or ETH or any of these other things. Mr. Teach 'em Turtles.
I didn't want to take away from the conversation, so I can be patient, please.
No, we're discussing trading. You know how this goes. Just
okay.
Stuff.
Then I can bring us right back into trading. Hey, like and retweet the space, man. If you already did, unlike it, unretweet it, and like it again. We got a good amount of people in here, man. In here getting this free alpha. You know what I mean? You already know how that goes. Unlike it, unretweet it, like and retweet it again. We got some people in here getting free alpha all the time. Why we don't want to keep teaching more people? Get them in here. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, brother. I was just look at them likes and comments and was like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? Yeah, let's get it going, you guys. And back to that trading thing, I would like to learn a lot more personally about shorting because I have made a good amount in cryptocurrency, but I was also not watching candles. I did not know much about resistance lines, lines of support, all these terms. I did not know nothing about that. I was trading off instinct and happened to win. I'm not saying I believe that's happened to a lot of people. So I would like to learn a lot more details about it, especially shorting, because that's betting against the market, right? And that would be amazing to learn how to do.
Yeah, you got to be careful with shorts though, because sometimes shorts, if it keeps going up, like that's an exponential loss, right? So usually you got to take margin out when you short, at least in like the traditional markets. But what I like to do with shorts is I use shorts as like insurance policies, right? So like, let's say I have a lot of stock, for instance, and it just had a huge run up and it's overvalued. I would actually probably do a leverage short in order just to protect my position for a short period of time, right? Because I have stock where if it goes the other way, it'll balance it out and I won't have a huge hit. So that's something to keep in mind. And also when it comes to shorts, I always loved hedging, right? Like I know that Shiba Inu is a token and I know that Dogecoin is a coin, right? Because it's a layer one coin. So I would be way more bullish on a meme coin that's a layer one than a layer two. So maybe I would go long Doge and short Shiba, right? So you got
What
to,
does hedging mean?
hedging means that, like for instance, if you're betting on something here and you have it, let me make an example. So you have Intel and you have Nvidia, right? So here would be a hedge. Maybe I would go long Nvidia and short Intel because it's in the same sector, but I'm hedged that if that sector drops, most likely Intel would drop harder, so I would make money on the Intel as my Nvidia trade is crashing, if that makes any sense.
You know where that made sense for me is when Daryl, it's like he would have something, and you remember when you were telling him to do Netflix, and then he had Netflix and Apple, and it was the tech stocks. This was the weirdest shit, you guys. My uncle's got this giant setup with like 20 monitors and all that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like when this like trading stats. So he's got like every single chart you can think of, and when the market does something, all the charts change at the same time. So I'm visual and I'm seeing this happen, and I'm like, the heck, man. So it's like, dude, you literally can watch exactly what he's saying when it just switches on you, right? And you got to know when able to like, you don't want to keep your short in, for instance, when it starts to switch up because it does the opposite then, and you start to lose your ass. So, and then he was talking about leverage. This is the only thing I want to say. I saw him one time do a trade, and it was like, what did you have, $5,000 in it? Plus, it was like 500 leverage, and he made like 60 grand in one trade, you guys. And that's because what it is that you take that money, and then you have like all of this extra money behind it that's going to back up this giant bet that you do, right? And if it works, then all of that leverage makes it way better than what it was. But if it doesn't work, you lose all of the money that you had to back it up with. Teach me.
No, yeah, I mean, guys, you know that you don't want to see a message saying your account has been liquidated. Believe me, what Hannibal is telling, yeah, be very careful. Be very careful.
Yes, absolutely. I've gotten some serious ass beatings, but that's why I like to use it as an insurance policy, right? Because all my other stuff is going to protect me if it goes the other direction. And like this isn't something that you play with. Like what you should do is you should paper trade it, right? Like get a Forex account or something that gives you fake money and play with it like that. Otherwise, like you can get really, really, really hurt here. This is advanced. Yeah, we shouldn't even be like, if you guys are beginners, you shouldn't be listening to this.
What I was gonna, that's exactly what I was gonna touch on, because I don't know if anybody else in here is like the turtle. I told you guys how I made my money. I did not make my money leverage trading or doing that. So just for my knowledge and for the people who also don't understand, let me know if this is correct. Hedging is basically knowing when you're betting against the odds, you're also betting for the odds on another product or another thing to kind of quote unquote hedge it out just in case. Is that what you mean by hedging? Just so I'm clear, you know what I mean? I just want to know.
Say that again one more time. I'm sorry.
It's no problem. It's no problem. I know how it be. It is hedging like shorting on one, but longing on something else, just to like kind of balance out your betting, or I mean, I would say 100%. Betting. You know how it is. Okay, cool. So just for everyone's knowledge, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to understand it for everyone who didn't. That's what hedging is. Like if you're shorting, you're also longing on something different to kind of balance your sheet out so you don't take any big losses.
Right. I'll give you an example. Here's one that was in the history books that I missed. Right. So we had all of these decentralized exchanges with tokens attached to them. Actually, they weren't decentralized. It was like they're SEX, right? CEX or whatever. These exchanges, they had tokens attached to them. And then you got these decentralized exchanges with tokens attached to them, right? Like the super trade would have been going short on these SEC exchanges that have a token, like FTX, like the other ones that liquidated, right? And then along on Uniswap type of token, right? Because the DeFi was where everybody would go when they were scared of centralized exchanges. So I knew that the money was going to go out from the centralized exchanges into the decentralized exchanges. So it would be good to short the centralized exchanges token while you're going long the decentralized exchanges token. Shib's coming up right now, and he's all about this stuff.
I was going to say, one time I seen Dan do, or Aslan do this. He was running a bunch of shorts, and then he pulled up a long on the same thing and was like, just in case, I'm going to have this long running. And if I need to shut down these shorts, and as I go up on them, the long will pull and be able to cover me, if that makes sense.
It does make sense overall. But I believe, like, for instance, like me and maybe a few others, speaker panels or listening, we haven't necessarily seen that on the charts in our face on a screen. You know what I mean? So it makes sense in theory. It makes perfect sense. But at the same time, you know what I mean? This is what, when Aslan was like, hey, make sure I get in on that trading firm for sure, bro, because I need to learn too. But yeah, we like people like me and for others, bro, we'd like to see that in face. Basically, we like to see that in person, or not in person, on the screen, so we can fully understand it, because it does make sense in theory. Both examples were actually beautifully said to make sense what hedging is, but I still kind of got to see it.
No, you're totally right. And it wasn't until I was sitting there and saw real money in the game and that happened and that I understood it, Turtle. You're totally 100% right on that.
I'll give you an example on the last time I did it. It was with Coinbase. When FTX did crash and liquidate, I was starting to buy Coinbase at the same time, because I knew that no matter what, like, the inflow from FTX was going to end up at Coinbase. And I also know Coinbase is a completely different animal. Actually, Coinbase is probably what crashed crypto. And someday maybe we'll talk about that later. But I was buying a little bit of Coinbase, and I kept buying it as, FTX was crashing. So I bought it, and I bought it at $42, went to $33. I doubled down on it. It ended up going to $82. I did not sell it, but what I did was I bought a put on it, right? Which is an option saying, hey, it's going to go down, and if it goes down to this price, it's going to be worth this amount. So that was a hedge, because I knew that it overran. So I just got an option. That option cost me, let's say at $1,000 in it. And it had a chance to drop 25%. So I bought an option for $250 that could completely go to zero, but it was an insurance policy. But it ended up dropping 25%. So I ended up making a lot of money, and I still held my stock. So that would be another example.
And the flip side is don't short GME.
Yeah, actually, if you would have recently, you would have made some money.
You know, when it really came home for me is when I was watching one day. This is one little thing, and I'm going to hand it over to Shib after that. And Motion will come back to you, bro. I like your input. I wanted to say that I was watching one day, and it has to do with, so when you're doing your bets, and you have to have a pool of money that's available for you to be able to play with when you're doing like these kinds of things for shorting and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was watching one day where you make this bet and then it goes down so low, but it'll catch because you have it marked at like a stop loss or any of those kinds of things. But the thing is, this is what's crazy, you guys. If you don't have a deep enough pool, it'll literally just lose all your money. But if you would have had like an extra $1,000 there for it to go down a little more and then catch and come back up, you could have gotten like super rich off that. And I've seen that a couple of times too. That was pretty nuts. So I do want to hand it over to Shib now. What you got, bud?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, Hannibal. I mean,
go ahead. Yeah,
I've been through that, and I can tell you, you can see how you are getting margin calls, and it's not the price that is. It normally appears that is the price that your account is going to be liquidated, because when it's dropping, that price is increasing. So yeah, you make a huge difference. You have that money in order to deposit. You can save really all your cryptos in one. But it's very important, because once the prices stop going in the size in the direction you don't want them to go, okay, it's like exponential, and in 2 seconds you can just lose everything. So having that backup is a must.
Yeah, I completely agree, Mr. Shib. Shiba, are you down there, Shiba boy?
Yo, my bad. I was rugging for a bit. Can you guys hear me? Yo.
You're good to go, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say you guys said don't short game, but I just had a quick question, just general thought consensus of what do you guys think about what's going on with Ape and AMC at the moment?
See, I have a love-hate relationship with Ape. So when it first came out, I was like hating, and the whole thing was annoying, and they're airdropping, and it's like, why are you guys even pretending it's Bitcoin and all that shit? But I'm going to be real, man. So their staking situation with SEC and all the drama they've been through, they've survived this entire time, right? And I don't know, man. Yuga just seems to be literally 25% of us anywhere. Like whenever Yuga's in the front lines and they're doing something, they have the power and weight to pull it off. So as far as things that happen with it all the time, I don't know, man. I'm a little 50-50 on that coin personally.
Oh, I think we got a little mixed up. I meant Ape like the stock. I heard we was talking
Oh, I
stock.
thought you meant the Ape coin from Yuga. My bad, bro. No, tell me about that.
You good. Nah. I think
I know what you're
AMC
talking about.
Yeah, AMC
Yeah.
is getting sued. People can't use their Ape shares to vote. People are held hostage right now. So general consensus on like, what do you guys think?
I think that that no matter what, it was a gamble from the start. Like if you're playing with it, you were degening on it, right? And I was actually wanted to get in. I actually got in a little position. I did actually on it because when Avatar came out, I thought there was going to be a little pump, and honestly, there wasn't. And I mean, it was just literally a few bucks, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, it's a super degen play. I kind of degen with that once in a while. They have a horrible balance sheet. Like if you're gonna play balance sheets, it's horrible. Like they have a horrible balance sheet. Like they're a horrible like anyone on the stock exchange will laugh at you if you were to buy AMC. But because we know that people are gorilla-ing in and the way volume works, like there's a play there.
Did you guys just say they're still messing with AMC? Is that what I'm hearing here? The fuck?
Yeah, people.
Yep. People are still AMC and BBBY.
All right. So my opinion on that is this. I was impressed how they're not decentralized, but a group of people could get together and affect the market like that. Where normally it's a whale and a couple of their friends are like on a yacht. They're like, hey, bro, hey, Elon, why don't you buy Twitter? Like that shit. No, dude. We were all sitting over here and like, hey, look, we're going to get like 100,000 of us together and we're going to go fuck with this stock. I'm going to put it through the roof and then we'll see what happens. And it worked. I mean, that kind of blew my mind, man. I got mad respect for that.
Hey, GME community still going strong.
I can actually see that not in the most important cryptos, but I have seen that done by people here in Uruguay with cryptos that were already dead. They just start buying to hype, and yeah, the people were falling into that, and they were thinking, okay, they didn't know watch at the volumes, they didn't do the homework. They manipulated the market the same way that people with a lot of money would do with big cryptos. Well, with the small cryptos almost dead, they did the same. It's the same way of acting. The thing is, if you have a lot of money, you can manipulate cryptos that not many people can do it, and that's something that involves billions of dollars.
In the 2000s, it was cool when I was a guild leader in Guild Wars 1, not 2. This is way back in the day. I was in the guild hall one day, and we had this friend of ours that was like a farmer. So you can imagine, you guys know what the word farm means. This dude had more money than several big guilds. That's how he's like. We're sitting in the guild hall, and he looks at all the knights, and he's like, watch this shit. Do you want me to affect the market? He goes over to our merch, and he buys out a bunch of these colored dyes, and he drives the cost all the way up by buying all of them so that it's scarce. And I was just sitting there way back in the day as young watching that, thinking to myself, like, holy crap, that's how the Rothschilds and shit. This is how all of our economies have been controlled throughout history. And what we're discussing right now is the ability to do those kinds of things in mass if we wanted to. And I often thought to myself, man, like, what if we all kind of in protest didn't do anything for like a week? What if we all just decided, I'm not going to go to work. I'm not going to pay my taxes for like a week. I'm not going to let this entire system turn over. What would happen then? You know what I mean? That would be one hell of a massive protest we all could do.
Talking about a general strike?
Yes, sir. And that you've seen this from the way these economies work and stuff like that. You know that they have things that are in play, and if that doesn't get paid tomorrow, then the whole thing falls apart and all that. And if we just all were like, "Nah, I'm taking a vacation day. You guys deal with all that," the whole thing would be like.
So when are we doing this general strike?
Right? That'd be hilarious. We're all on the beach, like, man.
That's the entire problem of, hey, when are we doing this general strike?
It's like we might as well just cop those puts, get this general strike, and just sit and watch those charts dump.
You know, I've thought to myself one day, if the economy just changed over completely to crypto, there's going to be those moments when people have a ton of fiat and they didn't change it into crypto where it's worth nothing now. So those of us that got into crypto first, the little bits that we have, like the railroads in the very beginning, will be worth so much that it'll be insane. And those people will be asking us how it is that we're sitting on the beach relaxing when they didn't do anything to get into this place. So yeah, it's a lot of forethought, man. And I honestly, every one of us in here are very smart people. I would have never thought a long time ago that I'd been here discussing like digital currencies with people on Twitter. You know what I mean? This is absolutely epic. Thank you everybody for being here. And with that, we're going to be coming closer up to an hour, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start winding the room down. So if anybody wants to come up here, ask some questions, say some stuff, final thoughts, and all that kind of thing, you guys are welcome to.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
I was going to say I would love for people to come up and like maybe give some input on like how we can engage better. There's a few things that Hannibal and I were talking about. But firstly, I'm going to hand it to whoever was speaking before, and then we'll go through some of that stuff.
Okay, I just want to say, first of all, sorry that I was running a little late. Secondly, I'm happy I got it and got in here. You guys are always dropping alpha. I just wanted to personally say that. You know what I mean? I fuck with the Wildcats. I've been fucking with y'all for a while, and the alpha that we give and get is just amazing. We got new beautiful people on the stage like that we've met through the space, like Alberto, Ike, Sheba, Wise, Dion, Saliso, Shorty, you know what I mean? All the I'm not gonna name everybody, I name some speakers, but you know what I mean, great minds that are coming together. I just love that we're building a family like that, and that we're not in an echo chamber. You know what I mean? If you don't like what you're hearing or you have different viewpoints, you can come up here and speak it. And the most that'll happen is we agree to disagree. You do your way, I do my way, but you know what I mean? We still gonna get insight. I just love the environment, my boy. Y'all doing it, bro.
Love you, Turtle.
Thanks, Teach'em. We love you. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. All right, so let's see here. Let's figure out stuff. I want to figure out something, right? Like, I really want to be able to go in a room. I don't know how we're going to do this. I really would like maybe someone to help us, right? Like, how can I go in a room? How can I get your attention? Whether it's like I click on one of you guys, I make a heart emoji, you send me a heart back, right? A different color, and then I heart you live, and then we wave to each other, right? Like, I do want to set up a way to truly engage, and it sounds stupid, but you know what? When we go into a space and we are able to like almost engage with emojis at some point, like maybe not today, but at some point, it would.
We're like losing his entire process. So what he's trying to do is make some kind of way that we can communicate through these emojis, which I kind of agree with. There's ways that we can do things or something, you know what I mean? Like, and we should be able to engage with the people up top because you know they're always looking like we are. So the initial thing would be this. Obviously, if you like something, show them. Not liking something is up to you. You know, I absolutely love that shit. I will be trolling and doing like the, crying emoji or whatever, but you guys probably want to stick to being positive and happy all the time. So we're basically out promoting for people. So just keep that in mind, you guys. So he's right. We should be liking, hearting, all that kind of good stuff. You know what I mean? At least give them some backup. And if you guys notice, we're trying to go in rooms that don't have a lot of people because we're trying to support and help. So you just imagine that, man. You're in there. If you've got only 10 of your friends and all of a sudden a bunch of cats come in and they're all liking and giving you hearts and shit, man, that'll make you feel great. That'd be awesome as shit. So we want to do more of that for people. We want to continue to keep that positive hype vibe running around. It's sort of like that meme that we made with the Simpsons bar. All of a sudden there's a shit ton of cats standing in there and you're like, what just happened? And that's what we're doing, you guys. So love you very much. Yeah, I think, is there anything else you want to like explain as far as like, I remember you had them, this is what we need to talk about. So you guys have some new crew quests, One of them is to make your own group chat. So you're making your own chat with all your friends. What Aslan's doing is teaching you how to engage and keep that up and get a lot of numbers and stuff like that. So what you're going to do is create a group chat, add all of your close buddies to it, the ones that are active. And then what you'll do is every morning, get on your page, do your good morning post like you normally do, but share that good morning post into your group chat now, so that your friends that didn't see it on the page for sure get a little dingy ding that pops up on a personal message that says, hey, dude, look at my good morning post. You see what I'm saying? So step one, make your group chat, send us a little screenshot that you got that going, make your good morning post and share that in there. Okay. And bringing the speakers back up. We lost a couple there. So that's one of the methods that we've implemented. And those are some new XP that you guys can earn. That's in there in the quests. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I do. Did you mention, I think you call it interstellar astronaut or something. You called it something. What?
Interstellar interactor, the person who interacts the most.
Right.
Yeah.
So interstellar interactor, right? So you incorporated that. Now, did you tell them that if everyone was to put maybe a tag on their GMs with that person, like, then, you know, we could have them engage with that tag and then maybe increase their followers, right? Because constantly we're just trying to figure out how to increase every Wildcats followers, because the more followers that you guys have, the more powerful your retweets are.
Yeah, what she's suggesting is in your good morning post, put the guy who is the interactive person. You know, like right now we're doing, I think Tayo is the main guy. So we're going to roll from there and go down the list of all the family. That way, all the guys that are most interactive are going to get most follows at first. And then we'll start working our way down the rest of everybody else. So we got a couple of hands. We'll go to Shorty and then we'll go down to Theon.
So I'm glad you guys cleared that up for me, because you know what I went and did? I created a community. I was like,
hey, that'll work.
Wait, she created a community like in Twitter community.
Yeah, like
yes,
not a group chat.
I'm like, no. I don't even know how to create a group chat. I created a community and I started, I invited like 2 people. And then I was so happy that you guys said you were going to talk about it that I was like, all right, let me see if I did this right. So clearly I did it wrong. So I got to go do a group chat.
Now,
okay.
at some point, I'll help you in a second, but at some point that might be cool for like traits, right? Like a trait group. It looks like someone already did like a trait group chat for astronauts, which was really cool. But yeah, Hannibal, you want to explain how to do that? Because on different phones and computers, it's different, and he knows all of them.
Essentially, it's going to be this. You know how you go up and it has like the little envelope of the plus thing, and you know how you type the person's name in, you do it singly? Now what you're going to do is type another person's name in to get 2, and then it'll do a group chat. Now, those group chats have the ability to be done with administrators, so you can go in and add people later or take them out. But what I do recommend you do is rename the group chat and put a little icon on it. That way it doesn't get lost in the slew of DMs that you have.
All right, before I forget, let me go over some strategies here, right? Like the best way you're going to find people to put into those group chats is going to be by following everyone in these rooms. I know I keep saying this, but the reason why is because you'll see them on your feeds, right? So when you see them on your feeds, you're going to see which ones have the most interactions, right? So like if you're seeing people with like 50 likes and like 200 or 250 likes and tons of comments and retweets and stuff, those are the guys you want to throw in your chat because they want to be there anyways. Because the only reason they are there is by being in those group chats. So they'll thank you, right? So now once you get them in there and they're thanking you, you tell them to follow everyone in there, which means that everyone in there is going to follow you, right? So these are these little strategies. These are little secrets.
Got a hand. Theon, what can we do for you?
Yo, what's up, brother? I mean, the GM, it doesn't matter if you are in the bull market or in the bear market, the GM is always in the bull market. So it's the best engagement you can get right now. And you guys know, because, I mean, just like Wise just came into the space, you know, and welcome Wise, you know, and I see him on my timeline everywhere, GMing everybody. So he's getting that engagement, you know. So that's the best secret which you can get right now. You can get a thread group, you know, like the Wildcats, like where you already have. And every Wildcat should now pump that tweet, you know, everybody's tweet. You know, that's the algorithm. The more likes you get, the more retweets you get, the more engagement you will get.
So these guys don't get their XP unless they come into a room and like and retweet every room they go into. So that's why these rooms fill up so fast. We have hosts literally like calling. We don't have to show. this is awesome. We don't have to show anymore. We went in, like, I love them personally. Like, I love Stanza. But we went into Stanza's room and brought in so many people and retweeted his room and doubled his room that all he does is he looks down and he goes, hey, Wildcat Alliance, like, we appreciate you. What you're doing is working. Like, we see you, right? But also, here's another thing I want to say, because I was thinking about this. Not only are we proof of stake because we put our funds in the validator, we are friggin' proof of work, because you guys go out there and work, man. Like literally, people should be understanding that when they buy this NFT, that there's work attached to it. Like, you guys are grinding, and that's why you guys deserve all of the royalties and the stuff that comes out of the validators. So I do want you to know that there's some cool stuff going on, and it's almost like by accident.
Hell yeah, bro. No, I'm super duper excited. I hope all of you guys are liking all the cool things that we're doing to try to help. We also want you guys to keep in mind, we're going to be having a little awards ceremony toward the end of the month for our favorite speakers. So those of you that have a particular person that you love, I like all these damn speakers, to be honest with you. It's been so much fun. There's only been a couple that are really annoying. But other than that, dude, you know the ones that are hype, the ones that are always like, I love you guys. Dude, I love sitting in some of the spaces. Like, if I don't get in one of those spaces for the day, I don't feel right. It's like church. You know what I mean? So absolutely love it. Very excited. I am going to start winding us down a little bit here, though. Then we're going to do a room reset. This is the Wildcat Alliance. I was about to say the hackers now. This is Wildcat Alliance. We are here. We are multi-chain explorers that like to go around and do space raiding. If you go into spaces all day long and you would like to be paid to do that, oh shit, there we go. Yeah, let us know. We'll get you hooked up into the system. You just need to go over and buy yourself a Wildcat. Oh, I did want to report, actually, while I'm here doing the reset. Did you guys see some of our Wildcats are selling for like 3 and 4 SOL? That, dude, we literally had a free mint almost. It was like $2.50 or something. These things are, dude, what the heck? This is awesome. And here's the other thing I want to say. The experience that I've had with you guys of having this inner alpha with the astronauts, like, organically bubbling out into everybody, and then people getting word of that in the street, and then these things being sold the way they are. This is one of the fascinating, most cool experiments I've seen in scarcity ever. It kind of reminds me of like the CryptoPunks days and things like that. You know what I mean? Sasalu, what can we do for you?
Yeah, thank you very much. I have question also, but first of all, regarding work, Atlan mentioned work. Can we imagine Wildcat, okay, members being associated to a real life project? For example, as I mentioned maybe weeks ago, I intend to organize like a day of sensibilization, for example, to some how you say students, okay, at uni, to inform them and teach them about what is the Web3. So can we imagine the Wildcat being associated to this kind of events, not only on my side, but maybe if any member can organize this kind of events, if it is possible.
We actually been involved in some of that stuff, even in Nigeria already, bud. Yeah, we're totally down for doing that kind of thing. So if you need any kind of education material, if you need anybody to speak, I do realize that me and the way that I speak sometimes doesn't really work. So what I've learned is that you guys are very good at teaching your own people. But what I mean is, if you need support, you need resources, you need anything, we're here for you, bro. Always, for sure. I just want to point this out too, that right now in Africa, they're actually having Web3 classes. This amazes me. If you go to high school here, these kids are barely being taught how to make their beds or anything anymore. You go in Africa and they're literally teaching these kids how to go and trade NFTs and how to shill and how to do collabs. And I'm mind blown by that, to be honest with you. So if you are involved in anything like that, to go ahead and hit us up in the back end. We'd be happy to support something like that, bro, for sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I'm not, maybe it will not be regarding trading and so on, but yeah, thank you very much. Another topic that I wanted to speak with all of you all, it's kind of red flag, okay? If you read newspapers, so you see what happened in US regarding the banks, okay? Some bank, okay, due to some, let's say, Web3 corporates like FTX and so on, okay, has some facing some issues, okay? We have Silicon Valley Bank, we had Silvergate and so on. So don't you think that if those banks like are going to close, it will slow down the mass adoption. Because if there will no more bank, how the CEX will store and where they will store their fiats.
Aslan, you want
That's
to
my
take that? You have an opinion? I can give you my opinion if you want. Aslan can probably give you a way better opinion. But here's the thing about America. I'll be real, dude. So what you see in the forefront and when it gets to the news, we usually are not getting the correct information that's really happening, which is really weird because what they'll do sometimes to us is they'll come out in public and they'll tell us one thing and then literally be doing the complete opposite in the background. The reason why I bring this up is that if they're telling you they're not going to do crypto, they're probably going to do crypto and they're going to do it their way. I suspect, and I've been saying this for a while, that like they test us, they see what we want, and then they go back and figure out how they can make us have to do it their way, right? And they haven't gotten it to the place that they can control everything yet. Otherwise, they'd have straight released it on us. Some of the examples of this are the CBDCs and all this kind of stuff that they're trying to, and you're in Nigeria, Cecily, so you already understand this. They literally made a digital dollar down there that is not even connected to blockchain, has nothing to do with like crypto, anything cool or anything, but they're like, voila, here's a digital dollar. And that's what I'm assuming they're going to try to do to us. Literally, we're in the front lines down here, have an underground economy that is international, no borders. We're trying to be democratically decentralized and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, they're looking at us like we're completely insane, and they want to find the bits and pieces that they can use then to implement a system where, and this is the beauty of this, we all pretend that we're like, completely anonymous. We're not. We're completely open on chain. You can get literally automatic taxes can be done with a system like this. And that's what they're looking at. They're not looking at all the beauty that we're looking at. They're looking at how to get their paperwork done right, their statistics sheets and all that stuff, and how to drain us of every dollar they can get out of us. So it's super duper important that we continue this experiment in decentralization. That way we can find a middle ground when they plug into us that we can be like, no, those are my rights and I'm going to keep my shit. All right.
I think I got what you said. Thank you very much. That's really, really important what you said.
I appreciate you, Saslu. And by the way, I see that you don't have a Wildcat yet. We're going to have to take care of that here at some point there, but I don't think you got in on the mint. But I know you've been family. You've been around for a long time. You're one of Daddy's friends. He's also going for a PhD. I understand you guys. So, by the way, I do want to do a quick shout out if Dion's in here. Hold on. Oh, Tano. Yes. All right. So everyone needs to go down there and follow our astronaut friend. That is the interactor of the week. So if you've not followed Mr. Taino, Taino, he's Puerto Rican down there with the flag. That's our man right there. Everybody go down there and follow him. But yeah, for now, I think I'm going to get ready to close this room up unless anybody else got anything else they want to put in.
I do want to say I like LAYC's Wildcat. He's got a shotgun in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that. That was dope. I like that. All right, guys. Well, thank you. We got another request coming up. Maybe someone's come up and talk real quick. T, what's up, bro? But I don't have any spots open. Give me a sec. Let me get you up here, brother.
I'll drop, brother. So T's get up here. You know the vibes. Hey, I love everybody, man. Love the Wildcats. Love the Val. I can drop right quick so T's can get up here. Fucking love T's.
Hell yeah, bro. T, come up, say hi to everybody, bro. I told you guys to get bit by a scorpion, right? Yeah, I did. He's still alive, though. What's up, T?
Also, before T, I want everyone to know how important T is to this team. Through all of the people who we've gone through, which is very many people, T was the only one that ended up surviving. I'm telling you right now, he stuck by us, and we literally dropped everybody, and Hannibal and I and T ran this whole thing. So T is a friggin' champion.
And hi, Paisha.
Yo, thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm always having network issues in my country. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, thank you very much, Aslan. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So yesterday, like as Hannibal said, I was stung by a scorpion, but it was on my hand and not on my mouth, so I can speak. Yeah, I just wanted to shout out to everyone, like for coming around and the like. So yeah, you all are wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, T. We appreciate you. And also, I don't want to leave out Daddy-O. Daddy-O down there, we didn't even pay him. He's just been around doing all this stuff. He's a friggin' champion as well. And I hope that he minted himself a whole bunch of Wildcats because I think I gave him a few whitelists. Like he actually might have like 3, I don't know, but something like that. Either way, man, I'm so grateful for you OGs, and now you guys are all becoming new OGs, right? And you just wait till you find out what you guys get for being so awesome. I'm gonna leave it on that. I love you all. I'm so glad that I'm part of this. I'm glad that every one of you are part of this, and I know some of you are overachieving with your quests, and it's kind of frustrating that you all are doing a little extra and not getting rewarded for it. And I will figure that out and address it because I do not want to lose any of you. Okay, so I will figure that out.
So for now, though, we're just going to continue with the 5 a day because I was trying to explain to somebody earlier. Someone's like, dude, I got 11 of them to hand in. And I was like, dude, you go hand in 11 right now. Think about the guy that's down on like 11, like literally he's going to be like, well, I'll never catch up to that. I quit. You know, like, so we got to
figure that out. Well, all right, so what if we just do 5 a day moving forward and we take off 2 Sundays to make up for it?
We'll work about it. Anyway, so, but Ike, what you doing? Ike, you there? We didn't hear you, buddy.
I can hear you.
Oh man, I've been speaking this whole time on mute. Oh gosh, that's unacceptable. I was just talking to Tano. I'm like, what were you doing? Getting bit by a scorpion on the hand. That means you were out there somewhere digging in a hole. What were you doing? But anyway, sorry about that. I'm glad you're getting better. I just wanted to speak a little. Huh?
Exactly. So I was like, "What the hell were you, T?" And this is what T said. He said, "Sir, I was just laying in bed."
Yeah.
Right? He was like, "Could you just sit there chilling?"
Yeah. Okay, these are the way. I went out to charge my gadgets, like, yeah, because of no power supply in our area. So I got back like early in the evening, like around 6, and I sat down on my bed, chilling on Discord and Twitter, just as usual. And then I don't know, I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, and just I don't know, it creeped in and just stung me on my right hand, like the middle part of my right hand, and I shouted like, yeah. So I don't know. I think it's because of raining season. When it's raining here, I think all those kind of things tend to like grow and come around. So I guess so.
I completely understand. Sorry about that. I've been bitten once by a scorpion too, and it's the pain is intense. It's hard to understand, and unless you've really been bit too, it sucks. It's terrible. But hey, you're living, I'm living, so you'll be fine eventually. What I wanted to say right now is nothing major. We're just talking about engagement, and what I realize is the power of the hashtag, right? So when you're out there in a group and you're hashtagging beyond just replying, and you're NFT family, your NFT community, NFT this, whatever it is, you reach a larger audience. And I realize that a lot of times people that are retweeting my tweets are not even in the space, and they're not even my followers. And that's the power of the hashtag, messing or dealing with the Twitter algorithms, which constantly change. But this seems to be what's working. So I guess about, including these hashtags to reach a larger audience will be something that I guess each and every one of us should consider doing when replying to our messages.
Do you have any ideas on that, maybe? Like, do you have any ideas we could apply besides the Space Raiders?
I mean, the Space Raid is fine. That works. But specifically, there are a lot of people in the NFT community, which is part of what we are, but we're raiding. That's why every retweet that I do has the NFT community, NFT family. I can dig some more and, research into this algorithm to see how far we can go and what other hashtags we can use when doing some of these retweets. Obviously, we don't want to bombard the room with all these hashtags, but the most critical, the most vital ones, I can look into that and see what we can do to channel and get the sweet spot of reaching more people out there.
It's crazy. There's actually some very specific hashtags that NFT people use. So obviously NFT, NFTs are 2. However, NFT community, NFT shill is another good one. NFT artists with S is another good one. Those are the kinds of things you apply that everybody usually attaches to. And another thing that I noticed is if you specifically put like Sol or ETH with the NFT, it also brings more of that kind of stuff. So, and then one more thing that I would say to this is that we need to be careful also putting a ton of hashtags and a ton of tagging, because then it gets kind of like demoted in the scale. So there's a happy medium there. We have to pick specific ones. And I think the key would be, just like you were saying, is that we all have to do the same one and make sure that it's consistent.
I have a question regarding that. I have been using NFTs, NFT community, but whenever I start typing NFT community, it show up like 3 different options. And it's community with it's misspelled with 1 M, that with 3 M's, with 2 M's. Why is that? I mean, and it show up like being used. It show up auto completing. So NFT communities, I find 3 different ways of typing that. Only, of course, once is correct, but people are using that with more M's or less M's that the word has.
It's because when they go to type it, that it auto completes up top, and sometimes people will just hit enter and not pay attention, so it continues the wrong tag all the time. So, but I will tell you that you can quickly do a search on Google and type in best tags for NFTs. There's several websites that will pop up and show you the statistics on why specific ones are better than others. And I will tell you that I saw that same thing, but it's the one that's, you know, spelled correctly, as you could imagine, that gets the most hits. Yes. It's not like it's some kind of weird thing that they misspelled it and everyone went with it forever. But there are people that still do. It's kind of weird. We got stars coming up here. No, I love this. This is good stuff for the engagement. And like I said, though, just make sure you put Space Raiders. Make sure you put Wildcat Alliance for sure. Another thing that I've been putting that people seem to like is like, I don't know who did this first. Somebody did this first. It was like here to listen and learn, you know, stuff like that. Maybe it's kind of like weird at first when all these cats show up and then we're all like Space Raiders, and then we're just standing there looking at them. You know, like maybe if you want to kind of like tell them what we're doing, hey, we're here to just kind of check things out. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing might be kind of fun to do, depending if you're like in the mood to get creative with that particular group or something, you know, like just bringing that to as an example. Anybody else have anything else they want to input? If not, I'm closing up. It's about dinner time over here. I got to go eat. Thank you everybody for showing up though. This was a great space. I like these chill spaces. These are kind of fun. We can drop some alpha, some info, and it's not like some guy up here, hi, I've got 25 these flamingos and we're making a gambling game for children. Like, yeah, I can't handle that kind of stuff. So, but everybody have a good evening. This is this is the Wildcat Alliance. We're here, we're Space Raiders. We're raiding all the spaces. If you see us up in your stuff, you should probably pick one of us up. Oh, that was one more thing I do want to bring up. Going forward, anybody who wants to work with us, the first thing they need to do is go get a Wildcat. We've got everybody and their brother in our inbox right now asking us to help them sell their project out. How do I do this? How do I do that? Can I come on to the show? Well, go pick up a Wildcat first if you want to talk to us, bud. It's easy.
Yep. Founders are token gated now.
You're token gated. You got no time, man. Everybody and their brother wants to talk to Aslan now. It's freaking nuts. So, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and shut the show down. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Wildcat Alliance out.